Regardless of whether you've done something wrong, it's always a good habit to leave nothing behind.
Damn Gooners. Welcome back, my delinquents. We have a case today, the case of the female Gooners. And somehow this has made a giant controversy all over the internet. Honestly, you may be blind, or just not on Twitter, I guess, if you haven't seen this, but it has brought from VTubers, streamers, Tectone into the fray of the drama of this, and it's all about just a male Gooner game, or that's how guys are describing it, and it's not exactly correct. And don't judge me, but I know what this game is. This is a no judgment zone, guys, I swear. Only a little bit, I say. Okay, no, we're judging people. I'm lying. We're gonna judge people. And the game is called Love and Deepspace. And it's pretty much like a romance, I don't think it's gacha at all, or like a mobile game. It's pretty much a romance, high quality game. And the main thing is your character, there's like shooting and lots of other stuff into it. And it originally went around as a meme by a lot of streamers. And then it just got a good fandom that enjoys the game. Because there is a lot of romance games. And a lot of people are putting it in the Gooner. And for some reason, because a period tracker came out, a lot of men started dubbing it a filthy Gooner game for women that ruin women or something. It's a very weird leap, seeing it's a very mild goon game, I would say. There is no smecks, there is no major nudity, there's just a lot of hand holding or pinning to a wall and stuff, and you're my one and only stuff. Like, I'm not saying it isn't a bit goony, like it's definitely a thirsty game. But this has somehow turned into the gender wars of who's the biggest gooner. And we're just going to say here, everyone can goon. Some just goon harder than others. But I think the main pushback from women on it is that it's Love and Deepspace isn't quite a gooner game. It's more like a romance gooner game, if that makes sense. Because gooner means someone who's addicted to prawn to such an extreme degree. It's seen it doesn't have any prawn. I'm going to say prawn. But I'm going to go into this and show you the VTubers' opinions, because someone got completely slam dunk for their opinion on this. Some people agreed, some people disagreed. Same with Tectone, he got slam dunked again. For some reason, everyone's really mad about this, that women have a Gooner game. I don't know why exactly. This is not news. I feel like some guys just were really unaware of some of the games that women play, and now they're shocked. Women have Goon games? Yes. There's like 10,000 of them, especially AI chatbots. It's not that crazy. But let's get into the story and see what everyone's opinion is and see what we think about this. But guys, before we get into this, put in your timestamp and tell me, should women be allowed to goon? Should they have their goon games? Let me know in the comments below, and then tell me what you think by the end of the video. Yeah, I'm going to start off with some of the posts that's kind of like kicked this off. I'm not going to claim to have it in the right order, because there was literally so many of these. And honestly, it started off very harmless, just a little bit of poking fun at each other. You know, as a lot of these things happen, women going, oh yes, this is our thirst game, etc. The guys going, we've been outgooned, my brothers, like we have been outgooned, which I think is more on the lighter side of everything like this. And women in male-dominated fields, because you have to admit that the top-selling smexy or goony games are for men, and that's normal, and that's fine. So it is just a little bit of back and forwards, poking fun. And it really branches where it turns sour is this part about the period tracker. Chinese mobile Ottoman game Love and Deepspace adds a built-in period tracker. Your love interests react to your period. Details below. And for some reason, a very niche part of the internet, I say niche, but there was a lot of them, because as you can see, this had 224k likes and stuff. This got really out there, like as we can see down below here. And some men took it that it was about smacks, like that the period trackers to know when you're ovulating, to be bred or something. And no, in the game, the character just reacts depending where you are in your tracker. It's like, oh, to be more caring, offers you more food. Are you feeling okay? Do you have a fever? Like, as in, to be the ideal romanceable partner, especially it's an Asian game. They take that stuff like more seriously. To be a good partner, you should know like lots of things about them. It's the same with a lot of stuff like that. And that started this like collision of like agreement that people were saying because of the period tracker, it made it a Gooner game. And people was like, no, it's just about being a good partner. And then it's ruining women for men argument came out, which is so funny because this is the exact same argument people make for guys that are way too into gachas and like romance games, which the people who enjoy those games disagree with. And I find it so funny that the guys in the anime community has come up and say, no, these romance games are ruining women for men, putting the bar too high. And I find it incredibly hypocritical. Like, obviously, this is not every anime fan. Like, there is such a variety of people in these fandoms. So don't think I'm just saying everyone is exactly the same, because that's impossible. But let's have a look at some of these. And some VTuber got really dragged for regurgitating / doubling down on this opinion, because this is not just one person's opinion. They're the one who got slam dunk for it the most, and I will say that there was a lot of guys saying this too. So we're going to talk about Captain's opinion on this that got really dragged. And if I remember correctly, I don't think every point is bad, but I do think it's dramatic. So we won't read the reply here first. We'll go straight to what they're saying. Captains, there are a lot of women who have normal lives while playing these games. I know many, and that is the majority of the player base. But we cannot ignore the fact that these games are so predatory to women who are lonely and sad. The point they dedicate hours of their life every day to their fictional husbands. They've raised their real life standards to the point they will reject a life with another man if they do not meet the fantasy that is their husbando. That is an unhealthy mental illness. Okay, I'm going to say here, I don't think raising your standards are automatically bad, but if they're unrealistic standards. But from the game, I don't think the standards he's showing is really crazy, other than the, generic hot Asian guy looks probably is is unrealistic. But I think relationship-wise, I don't think it is that crazy, but I could be wrong. I have not fully played the game. I've just watched a little bit of it, and I played a little bit for a meme, like one time. And yeah, I guess all gachas, all games, and all kind of romance games can be predatory, but I don't think it's that serious. Like, all the time, like, most people just play these stuff when they're lonely. Should they just keep being lonely until find no solution for it, or should they just settle for anyone because they're lonely instead of playing a game? I don't think so. I think it's better to like explore your options than just settle for something because you're a bit lonely. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, be realistic, but I don't think it's like as world breaking as a lot of people say. Like, they make it sound like these games are ruining people's lives, and I think it's only like a small piece of the puzzle. These women are very vulnerable to spend hundreds, sometimes thousands. They do not have just so they can feed their parasocial relationships. It's a dating game. The company wants you to become attached to these characters. Why is that controversial to say? Well, that's every game. I'm not going to lie to you. That's every gacha, battle pass, skins. That's your streamers. That's your VTubers. They all can feed on this kind of mindset. If you're willing to do it, you can do it. Anything that integrates parasocial has this risk. Women are now rejecting real men because the virtual one does it better. It's degen behavior to love an AI or a virtual boyfriend, and that's fine. We just gotta be okay at admitting that. So is it bad, or is it just you should be honest? I don't really get it. Like, and also it's very hard to say, using an AI romance means you're a degen. It's like, you don't really know what people use it for. And a lot of these do have gameplay. It's like saying every person who's ever played Nike is a degen or whatever. It's like, no, we don't know how much they played it. We don't know why they played it. Like, in a little bit of booty cheeks doesn't automatically make you a degen. If you have an account where you're making 100 posts a day about your favorite and it's taking most of your time, I'm sorry, that is DJ behavior. I've rejected most of your real life for your fantasy. Again, I feel like people get terms mixed up. Degen is a degenerate. So you're addicted to prawn and you like a lot of prawn. I would say this is feral fangirl or fanboy behavior. That's when you like 100 posts a day. And that's when you're getting like really invested into your fandoms. It's usually more common with younger people, but I would say it's a natural like part of life you grow out of at some point usually, or you just balance a lot better with your real life. You know, the being too extreme with it, not automatically fandom stuff, but the extreme part of it. And I think calling it degen is a bit of the wrong terminology. Are totally degens too. It's the gacha space. Just because I'm specifically talking about one does not mean I'm not critical to the other. A huge reason I left the lads community is because I just saw how toxic it was. Really have a critique about the game, having any kind of negative opinion about one of these result in harassment, shaming, and the whole set. The parasocial is off the charts. So they played this game, but they didn't leave because it was too romanceable or the game was bad, it was because of the community. So they liked the game. So which is it? Is it the community is toxic, or is it the game itself preying on people? But honestly, that's literally Genshin Impact. That's like most game communities, honestly. You're very lucky if a community is very tame, but they tend to go through phases, in my opinion. But this take is respond to Tectone, and of course Tectone, anytime there's a gacha, the dude just weighs in, and he's like, has to be really controversial. You either hate him or you agree with him, and they're the only two options. And it's like very, I wouldn't even say it's 50-50. Like, I would say probably more people hate him than like him. But because he says crazy opinions, but also he was in hot water for the beginning of the year, or allegations from how he treated his previous wife and his previous girlfriend, and he had an essay allegation and lots of crap. But in general, he's known in the communities for being kind of an asshole or a cunt. You know what I mean? Like, he has a very aggressive opinions, and that's what he's like kind of mostly known for. And it's not even the other stuff that really makes people dislike him. It's the aggressiveness, I find. From my understanding, I don't keep up with Genshin community stuff. He just ends up over my feed. Which is to every woman. A Gooner game isn't just oversexed game, it's also games that attempt to farm parasocials to feel like the video game character. Here's an understanding you more those in real life. So yes, lads, adding a period tracker feature is for... No, I don't think the period tracker actually is much into the gooning. There is way more goonable stuff in lads than that, honestly. I think they're just clicking onto it because they know that about it and they don't want to research in it. There's way more goon in that than just that tracker, which is for romance options. And I don't think romance is goon. Is role-playing a romanceable relationship gooning? Will I get kicked out of both of these games for the goon? Because I was like, I want to marry, Karlak. You fucking gooner. Get out of here. Get out of here. Wanting to marry a woman. You fucking disgust me. Like, is that what's gonna happen? I think it's a bit dramatic to call any romance-focused game or something a gooner game. I don't know if I say it doesn't feed Gooners, but straight up degenerate behavior. They want you to not exist functionally in a society. Next, so whose business is it you have to be in a society? You gotta function exactly in a society, exactly how society wants you to make. It's like, we're VTubers and otakus and stuff like that. Are we automatically fitting into the circle that is society? Like, you can work into it, but I feel like a lot of people don't fit into the basics of societies. And this turned into the whole, why are you upset that women had standards from this and don't want to date guys? This is a general problem of both sides. You know, there's the male loneliness epidemic, and right behind them, the female loneliness is going up too, but the men are beating it. That's for sure. But the women are going up there too, as they find women are also having less partners, less sex, and going out less kind of thing. They're just trickling behind men. So let's look at some of these comments that I got replied from. Women are now rejecting real men because the virtual ones do it better. I'm sorry, but how is that bad exactly? Of course I'm rejecting men if he can't do better than a stupid pixel on my phone. I feel like this attitude, guys online have it too, and so does women, is just, relationships are a lot of work. And I feel like that's the real reason people are rejecting relationships, is because you can have a little romance online with your games and you don't have as many risks. It's like a risk aversion more than anything. But I do think if a game is showing like what women want in a boyfriend, maybe pay attention to it if you care, you know, to date a girl. Then go, oh, those standards are too high. He actually got her chocolates when she was on her period. Too high. Too high. I can't believe women are so unrealistic. It's just like, bro. The funny thing is, the argument is a lot between men, women, and just women and women too. It's like, but everyone's arguing each other. I wouldn't say this is like a straight up gender war or anything on this topic, because everyone is agreeing and disagreeing differently, because the person VTuber who did this is a woman. Captain Captain is a woman, and they agree with a different side to this. So it's not particularly inverse women either. Your platform image is based on Sukana. You have Gooner and a Husbando Collector in your bio. Maybe says this one out. Gooner gang. But I feel like they have a mixed message here of, if you admit it to yourself, it's fine, but also you shouldn't be doing these things. And I feel like that's where they really rub people the wrong way on this. But don't worry, guys. Tectone, of course, because this is his second post on it. So he continued, obviously, because why wouldn't he? So there will be more of that. And just silly Welsh Cup girl. husbando collector. Yes, I do find it funny. Literally gacha husbandos. I do find it funny she's kind of like judging people for being parasocial and too into husbandos, but that's literally her main personality in gachaism. It's like that people in glass houses can't throw stones, kind of thing. It's not bad. It's just like I feel like she is inflicting self-pain here. And of course, these kept going to make fun of Tectone here. Okay, I'm a gooner and you're divorced and bald. Shut the fuck up with all you're trying to act like you're different. Okay, that's the thing. It didn't start off as a situation of they're different. It just somehow turned into people mad that women are gooners or something. I don't know. And then it turned into it's not technically a gooner game. It's a thirsty game, but I'm not sure if it's quite a gooner game. It's like that. It's on a thin cusp of reality. You know what I mean? It's like cusp. It's like, is it enough to be gooner? I don't know. Your wife left you when you have an SA allegation against you, so I don't think you should be addressing women. Oof, that burn, though. You find it interesting about this because it was years ago I looked it up with a stream, though. But there is literally a whole subreddit about guys that think they're married to their waifus. Like, they get wedding rings and everything. And they fight about who's actually their husband and stuff. So I don't know if this is as degenerate. But I'm not saying women don't do that. But I do think it's getting a bit out of control. And I thought I'd show this part so you can have a vague idea of the kind of stuff that happens in the game, so you can like see the degeneracy, I guess, or what's apparently as goonery as the most big booba smex R18 plus games. This is apparently as gooner.
Regardless of whether you've done something wrong, it's always a good habit to leave nothing behind.
Gooners. I think the thing is you can pop it on his cheek as a joke or something. Can't believe this. Women wanted to be scolded. Degeneracy in 2025. And I think that's like a general debate here, is that for some that seems to be fighting here is that more the Love and Deepspace in general is a romance game. It has a bit of that thirst in it, but it is a romance game more than anything. And I feel like that seems to be the most back and forward. So a lot of these girls don't care that they're thirsty or gooning on their Twitter. It's just that the game itself is more romance, as you can kind of see here. And I don't think it should be that crazy that women have like very thirsty games, and can be thirsty online. Like, this isn't news. I was trying to find Tectone's first post because he's not the only one. I'm pretty sure Asmongold did a video on this talking about women got some splaining to do, and I might react to it on the React channel, but I'm not going to bring it up here. And I couldn't actually find his original tweet about it, which is the real big thing that just up, because of course it did. A lot of Tectone opinions does. Next to, I'm just going to say, Tectone tweets way too much. Well, you make my job hard having to scroll through this shit. But, or maybe I just tweet very little. I don't know. But found this, and it's very ironic. Women calling gacha games Gooner games, but don't realize men are so obsessed with these virtual women because they treat men the way real women never could do. Even though he's part of the bandwagon now saying it's bad that women like virtual men because they treat women like men never do. It's like, that's the point. It's supposed to be an unrealistic fantasy. Both men and women like it for similar reasons. It's an unrealistic fantasy with none of the work. It's easy. And I just find this very contradictory, this tweet here. But what do you guys think, my delinquents? I think this is just a really crazy drama that went out of nowhere, especially seeing it started so harmlessly. Just some men and women poking a little fun at each other at their little bit of Gooner games. And then one person replied angrier. Then one person replied angrier. And some dude's like, man, this is the worst thing ever. And I think all these women should burn their mobile games. And it's just like, how did we get to this point even? How did this even happen? And I find that so funny on the internet that things will start out so light and just a little bit of poking fun at each other and then just explode into venomous rage. Because honestly, I don't want everyone to forget, because I was there when these posts were just going around. It was just a little bit of fun poked at each other, even about the period tracker. Started off with just a little poking of fun, and then people started taking it so serious and misinterpreting what tracking your period is for, which I found very crazy that a lot of guys don't actually know why you track your period. That blew my mind, honestly. It's like, bro, I don't think that's for what you think it's for. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think of this drama? I personally think it's really funny, and if it's a gooner game a lot, let them goon. If it's just a romance game, let them romance. Who gives a fuck? It's like, it doesn't have to be this deep psychological question and representation of society about how women are completely exiting real life because they like anime husbandos. So guys, sometimes it's just not that serious, and you don't have to make it into a who's better than the other, okay? We're not two different gangs fighting for dominance here. We're all individuals. But I'll catch you next time, my delinquents. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that bell, and check out the Patreon to check out earlier projects, art, and videos from other channels. Catch you next time.
Till the bunny shines so bright. Clumsy hot flood holds her crown. Busting sassy folks she's found. The ears perk up a bourbon sight. With a smile she takes the fight. Buns and balls won't break her stride. Caring heart she won't hide. Hot to justice, heart so pure. In cases, that's for sure. Plus the sussy with a wink till the comics bad guys sink. Glitch alarms and switching screens. A virtual world, no in-betweens. Pure in touch and iron will. Bad guys shiver at her thrill. With a crew, she's never alone. Virtual balls break every stone.